Our brother's asking, what's the ruling in Islam on listening to music? And he also said, does music break your fast in Ramadan if it's haram? My dear brother, I'm going to tell you the balanced view. And the balanced view is, the majority of scholars, past and present, say that music in general is haram. Except in certain occasions like weddings, even on Eid, you can play a one-tone drum like a duff, a one-tone tambourine. However, there are a minority of scholars who say that you can listen to certain types of music and they put like 16 different conditions to it. And when you read those conditions, you say, man, that doesn't apply to any of this pop music we're listening to. You know what I mean? When was the last time you heard music and said, subhanallah, man, wallah, I feel like I want to go to the masjid now. You ever heard that? You heard music and you go, astaghfirullah, you're forever looking at any of, the opposite gender. You don't say stuff like that, do you? We don't say that. You listen to music and what comes to your mind and your heart. So, my brothers and sisters, some scholars, which is a minority, and there's a book called Halal al-Haram by Al-Qaradawi, for example, Sheikh Al-Qaradawi, who wrote it, rahmatullah alayh, and he follows the view of some of the scholars like Ibn Hazm, who say that certain music is okay so long as you meet 16 different conditions. So it cannot take you away from the worship of Allah. It is not the type that involves derogatory words or haram words or shirk words or bad words. It does not involve clips and images and a lifestyle that blah, blah, blah. I mean, that's really basically all pop music and rap music. So, avoid the music, ya akhi. Avoid it. And in Ramadan, let's say if it is a minor sin, let's say it is, and it would be a minor sin to listen to music. Let's go by the middle ground. It's a minor sin. In Ramadan, if you listen to music, which is a minor sin, or you listen to words that you shouldn't be listening to, or you say words, or you swore, or you lied, or you did something like that, or you looked at something haram, these are all called day-to-day minor sins that people will fall into. It does not break your fast. It doesn't break your fast. Breaking means you've got to make up that day. But what it does, if you deliberately go out of your way to do any type of minor sin, or even major sin, it diminishes, it takes away from the rewards of your fasting. Right? It's like going to work. You went to work, you clocked on, you clocked off, it's good, you came back, but you didn't work very well. You went to the toilet too much, you slacked off too much, you just sat there doing some other things. Then we say, okay, well then your pay is not going to be $300 for the day, it's worth $50. So that's how fasting is. It's going to be worth something like, 50 hasanat instead of 50,000 hasanat. So the more we do, and I advise all my brothers and sisters, just avoid music altogether in Ramadan. Listen to Quran. Even with nasheed, which does not have musical instruments, I would say in Ramadan, look, I'm not saying that it's unanimously haram. I'm saying that with nasheeds, in Ramadan at least, do better than what you do before Ramadan. You stay away from certain sins. Don't just worship Allah on the edge. Don't just ask, is it halal or haram? Ramadan's not the time to ask those questions. It's the time I want to get even closer. There are even things that are not really haram, but they're disliked. But I'm not even going to do them. I'm going to try and not do them. Do that for a month. See where you get to. The Prophet ﷺ was passing by the grave, and he looked at a grave and he said, this person in the grave, if he were to come back alive, there will be nothing in the entire world more beloved to his heart than to just do 2 rak'ahs to Allah. Not fard, just any 2 rak'ahs. So things that you don't even have to do, but just to do them. Things that are not just haram, but they're just disliked, better not to do. Don't do them. Why don't you do that for a change? Wallah, I get a lot of young people, they say, but is it haram? We say, yes. Okay, how haram? Now I get people like, all right, I get it's very haram, but do you go to hellfire? Maybe. How long do you stay in hellfire? Will I get out again? If the guy's already sealed upon his fate to go to hellfire, la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. Have you ever put your hand over the barbecue before? I'll tell him, put your hand over the barbecue. Did it hurt? How much did it hurt? Come on, brothers and sisters. Try your best. This is Ramadan. Try to do more than what you can do. Try to stay away more than what you normally stay away from.